Welcome everybody. 2017 preseason preview is right here and on the ropes here. Craig Zimmerman, Jerry Bassett. Every year we say it keeps coming quicker and quicker.
Boy, I'll tell you, they started practice already.
Yep.
I mean, we are taping here on the 8th of August. And
Tuesday.
On Tuesday. They started yesterday. So it should be an interesting season. We're coming off a season we didn't make the playoffs. And
First time
we're
in,
not used to that.
Right, forever.
Yeah, but hey, it's still a great season.
Yep.
We're playing teams that are much bigger than us for the most part. And having a pretty good season, even though we didn't make the playoffs.
Hopefully we get weather like this in the first coming weeks. This is like dream weather
Yeah.
for a guy like golfing like you do.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
We're going over some of the stuff we talk about typically the last, say, 15, 20 years that we've been doing the games. I didn't think to put a pencil to it, but is this starting our 19th or 20th?
I think you said we started in
99.
99?
This will be starting the
So this should be 19th, I think. Yeah.
So we both had black hair back then, and
yeah, things were a lot different. And altogether, I think, as far as me doing the games, on the starting
Radio
back
station.
on the radio station and everything, that was in '85. So I think this will be number 33, and this is going to be my last one.
Okay.
I'm going to step aside and let somebody else take over after this season.
33 and out to get the
33 and out.
pension
It's
going.
time. It's time.
And anyway, we'll go into the the prognosticators information here. We've got some information from Coach Glodich as far as the players, and certainly you mentioned that we're coming off a season that wasn't quite as Mariner standard.
Right. Still a good season.
Yeah, we're pretty spoiled by the last 21 years, 208 wins and 37 losses, and out of that there was only 19 regular season losses in 21 years. So averaging 0.7 losses per year.
That means what? Would you say 19 regular seasons? So 18 of them
Went
were
undefeated.
18 of the losses. I mean, were in playoffs
Right.
against teams that probably went on and either made the state championship or won the state championship.
Yep. So
Unreal.
yeah, this will be a fairly young team.
Yeah.
Sort of both ends, right? You got a lot of seniors and a lot of underclassmen.
I believe it was Vanderbilt football coach George McIntyre that said, how did he say it? He said the biggest concern this season will be diaper rash, and that's a fact. We're a whole bunch of sophomores are up, only 4 juniors on this team, but I think with the people we have coming back and the sophomores and the juniors that are playing, this team's got a good chance to do some stuff.
Yeah, Coach Glodich said the numbers were the lowest they've had in a lot of number of years, probably in all the years he's been here, and most of that is due to the fact that the numbers in the school are down to somewhere about 5 1/4.
Yes, 514, I believe,
Okay.
is what I looked up earlier today. 514, and I want to point out too, the concussion factor.
Probably takes a handful out.
That's
Probably
going to take a few. Well,
Yeah.
when you're dealing with low 30s,
Right.
and you take
Right.
a handful out, that's a lot.
Right.
I think equipment is safer than it's ever been.
Right.
I think the rules make the game safer than it's ever been. I understand the parents' concern about the concussions
Sure.
and what it can do, but gee whiz, I don't know. I don't know if I could.
How many millions
stop
of
my
people have
child
played?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, we're okay.
But the numbers, simply starting out, say 20 years ago at 800 and some kids, all the way up until maybe 6-8 years ago,
Yeah.
810, 820, you shrink it by 300. The school itself, that ratio of how many kids you get going out for every 100 certainly plays
just
out.
To show, a few of our games. Grosse Pointe North, 1371.
It's almost
St. Clair Shores Lakeshore, 1273. Warren Woods Tower, 1095. Port Huron Northern, 1277.
Right.
I'd be embarrassed if I had a school with
Right, playing against-
1277, and I'm playing against an Algonac or a Marine City or Madison Heights, Madison with 323. I would be embarrassed. You know,
It'd be like a, say, a Marine City or a Marysville going up to the Thumb and playing some of these teams with
That's right.
250.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean that's. But this is the way it's set up in the MAC, and unfortunately, we're still in the MAC.
Yep. Coach did talk about the fact of a lot of speed in the team and athleticism coming back. They returned the Headley brothers at linebackers.
That won't hurt you.
Those are monsters. Justin Wiseman, Alex Kelly, Logan Johnson, and along the edges, got some speed there and some experience.
That's I was just going to say. Experience is big,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they did a good job too last year.
Secondary, Will Patsalis, his third year starting. Dawson Haney, Angelo Patsalis.
Yeah,
Angelo is a sophomore, and Aaron Sophie. And Aaron Sophie played a little last year.
played a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So they've got those returning. The question mark this year would be quarterback.
Right.
And it's a question mark because you've got two guys vying for the spot.
Which is great.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
And we don't know today, as the second day of practice, who's going to win out on that. And my bet would be Coach doesn't know either. That's why he said that.
Yes, I agree. And the two that are going for the job are Jacob Belly, who is a senior, and he got some playing time last year and looked pretty darn good. And the other is a sophomore, Colby Walker, who played on the junior varsity last year as a freshman and played well from what I've been told. I have not seen him play, so I won't pretend that I did, but I heard that the word that I get is that he's very talented.
Yeah, so interesting with that. Offensively, you've got some good experience coming back, and Dawson Haney, who's had 2,000-yard plus seasons back to back.
Very quick.
And he was keyed on last year a lot.
He was.
So, I mean, for him to get those yards, I think were big for him as a junior.
And then they had a relatively new line last year. You know, it didn't have what they had the year before, I should say, you know, with the experience that they had the year before. But we talked about his speed and his balance, especially.
Able to balance and cut.
He seems to see the hole. He seems to read the field. He follows his blocks well, and the balance is just phenomenal.
Yep. They've got some guards coming back with experience. They've got Justin Headley, Logan Brinley, Justin Wiseman. Those are some of the names you've heard of last year. Played some real quality numbers of,
names that we called a lot.
Yep. And then you'll see probably some mixing and matching for the, say, second back position with Aaron Sophie, Ben Wright, Logan Johnson, back forth, and mixing it up a little bit. So, like you had said, the numbers, by looking at this roster, paper used to be this long, or smaller numbers,
small
just
print,
small print just to get them on there. And that's just a victim of, like you said, the numbers in the school. But yeah, there's a lot of names we recognize from calling. And there's no doubt that Ron Glodich has got his stuff together. So, it's not a case of, did they take off last year? Did they do something different?
That's right.
It happened to be personnel. And the other thing, it's not to make excuses, but technically speaking, if you look at last season, we were a player or two away from flipping it, making the playoffs.
I think a player or two away from being 7-2.
Yeah,
really.
If you look at the good run that Algonac had last year, and the fact that we played right there with them, had we made the playoffs, I don't think it was a one-and-done scenario.
No, you just don't know. I mean, you have to have players that can run the ball. You have to have players that can block. You have to have players that can throw the ball, and players that can catch the ball.
Yep.
If you could do those four things, you probably win a state championship.
I don't know if you brought the schedule or not.
I do have it. We start 2 weeks from this Thursday.
Yep.
That'll be a Thursday, August 24th at Algonac, and that's.
It's gotten to be a grudge match because Marine City is going to want to knock them off because we've gotten. I'll use the terminology. We got punched in the mouth twice.
Yes.
And I'm not taking anything away from Algonac, but those were both winnable games.
I thought 2 years ago. I don't know what we were doing. I thought we should have won by a couple of touchdowns. And I don't know if we thought it was the old Elginak that was
Right.
there, and we were the old Marine City, or what. But
Right.
I don't think I don't think we're ready. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way. As an entire team, I don't think we're ready. Then a week from Thursday, after that, it'd be a Thursday, August 31st. We have Port Huron Northern at home. I don't know what they're
What they
doing
bring,
now.
right? What
I
they
have
graduated,
no idea.
right?
They had a quarterback that was
Very good.
outstanding,
Yep.
and a couple of good receivers, but I think he was a senior, so he'll be gone. We'll see what they bring. Then on the following Friday, that's the 8th of September, we have Detroit University Prep. That's a school, it's a little closer to our size, 570 students. No idea on them.
Right.
I have no idea. The following week, Friday, September 15th, Marysville at home. That's always a fun game.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yep. Yep.
Marysville seems to be coming back. They're 808 students.
Right.
I mean, they've got 300 more students.
More to choose from, right?
And you know, they say 3 out of every 50 you should get good athletes. So we'll take, you know, whatever, however you want to
Right.
look
Right.
at
Right.
it. September 22nd, Madison Heights, Madison. That is at Madison Heights, Madison. Then on September 29th, we are at St. Clair, so it'll be here at East China Stadium. Again, St. Clair with 808 students. But,
And St. Clair's got a new coaching staff. And
yep, all new staff, and probably we'll see different offense, different defense, and everything. And
Right.
probably about the same things we saw out of Richmond the last
Right.
several years. That's where the coach comes from. Then we get into October. October 6th, we're at home against Warren Woods Tower. Following Friday, October 13th, it's homecoming at St. Clair Shores Lakeshore. And then we end our regular season on the 20th of October at Grosse Pointe North. 1,371 students.
Yeah, you look at that
That's tough.
schedule. I mean, not like you can ever sit here and say this should be a win, this should be a loss, or anything like
No,
that. But you look at those and you go, you know, Elginak, they beat us the last 2 years, so that's certainly a grudge match. That's
Their senior year was
right.
their senior class from last year
Was something special.
They were great athletes, but I think they built a program down there.
Yeah, in
and
a couple
I
years.
think,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that'll be a good match.
I look at some of this and I go, you know, the couple that we lost were certainly winnable, and that's
Absolutely.
the Port Huron Northern game was a real winnable game.
Should have won it.
Yeah.
Really, I thought.
And then you've got a couple sprinkled in there. You got the Marysville scenario will be interesting because they've been on the upswing a little bit and had what I'll call an extraordinary team last year with their chemistry of running back, quarterback. I think they both graduated, but that doesn't mean they're going to go back to zero.
Right. Exactly.
So, and they've got a little bit of, say, an edge or cockiness with them that well, they beat us last year. So in their head, doable.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. They're not going to be afraid of it.
No. Yeah, you don't know what to expect out of the Madison Heights Madison or the University Prep.
No.
St. Clair, that game's always action-packed, and you know it's like you'll see people and say, you know, the week of, or people from different, you know, from there will see, what do you think? It's like you have no idea,
No,
right?
you don't.
But and those kids are going to come out as high and as on top as they can against the arch rival and with a new coaching staff.
New coaching
you know.
staff, and you don't know if he's going to need a year or two to get everything rolling as far as his offense, his defense, the training that the kids go through. You
Right.
know, is he going to lose kids because they don't like the way
He does it,
he
right?
does it? You know, you don't know how he's going to handle the parents. Sometimes the parents can be a little overbearing.
Yep.
So you don't know how that's going to happen, and that'll all play out. The good thing for St. Clair, I guess, is that we don't do that until
So-
week 6.
Right.
So, I mean, that's they got 5 games, and they should be knowing the offense and the plays pretty well by then.
Yep. Exciting time of year, good time of year if you're a golfer or any sports person. And then you got the startup of training camp for pro football. You got college football starting up. You know, you got all this stuff.
Yeah, the preseason games for pro football start this Thursday.
Oh, do they?
Day after tomorrow. Yeah, the 10th of
I don't watch too much of that.
August. I don't watch too much pro football anymore,
No.
but college football they do. And that won't be till September.
Right. Coaching staff, pretty much intact. Coach Ron Glodich, offensive coordinator Darren Letson, Dave Frent, defensive coordinator. Got Andy Shields on the linebackers and ends, and Dave Osterlin for the defensive line. So a lot of that is pretty much back. There was a couple changes in the lower portion of the Pete Fox, who had coached some JV, went to Memphis to coach with the guy that coached at Northern, Pat Connell, wasn't it him?
Was it Pat Connell or was it Casey? Yeah, Pat Connell.
And I think Casey Casera went with them.
I think he did.
So they went there to do that. There was another change, and I'm trying to think of what it was.
Well, I know that we've got a change in the superintendent.
Yep.
There's Suzanne Cibola now.
And she was the principal in Marine State High.
Now the principal is Sherry Becker, and the new athletic director is Dave Moreau. I hope I'm pronouncing that right.
Now, I didn't notice.
M-R-O-U-E.
I noticed those two new positions this week. Were those people that were in district or not? Do you know?
I don't know. Well, I know Suzanne.
Suzanne was, yes.
That. I don't know about Sherry and Dave.
Yeah.
And of course, the AD from last year,
Chris Ming.
Chris Ming has
moved over
up to the principal's office at the
middle school. Yep. Yep. No, exciting times. I mean, I think Suzanne should do a great job. And I think
so,
the big thing, I was happy to see that happen. I don't have kids in school anymore, but when you look at it, she is from St. Clair. She was born and raised here. She moved back here to be a principal, and with higher aspirations, I'm sure, is exactly why she moved back. So, and this is no disrespect to any of the past superintendents, but it's almost like you get a rent superintendent when, you know, I mean, you get 2-3 years, 4 years maybe.
It's a stopping point on their career.
And I think she's got younger children, so she'll be here for a while.
And everybody that I've talked to that has worked for her said she's great to work for, common sense, just does a real nice person to work for.
Yep.
So she'll do a good job, I'm sure.
Remainder of the roster, we'll just go over the names a little bit. And if we happen to miss somebody, it's only because somebody came to practice and maybe he didn't have it on here, but we're pretty sure this is what he's got here. We got Angelo Petsalis, he'll be number 2. He's a sophomore. We talked about him playing on defense. We got Jared Showers, number 3. We called Jared's name quite a bit last year.
Sure did.
Cornerback, he's number 3 and he's a senior. We got Derek Landis, number 5, he's a sophomore. Defensive back, running back. We got Jack Kretschmar, the second Kretschmar of the group. He's number 7 and he's a junior already.
I hope he's as good as his brother was.
Yeah. We got Jacob Belli, number 8, senior quarterback. Colby Walker, sophomore, number 9 quarterback. Dawson Haney, of course, number 11. Going to call his name and hope that everything stays healthy with him. And he's a senior, number 11. Angus Houston. Angus, we called that number out, number 13 last year. Junior. Got Logan Johnson. Can't believe he's a senior already, number 14. He'll probably play both sides of the ball. Start on defense, probably back and forth on offense.
Yeah, he's a good running back, so, you know, who knows?
Yep.
Who knows what's going to play out?
Christian Mousseau, number 17, a senior, tight end, defensive back. Josh Headley, number 18, a sophomore, which he started last year as a freshman. And I don't know what Craig Headley's feeding those kids, but they go from little guys that are 5'6", 120 to 5'9", 200.
They're little ball boys.
So Josh is a sophomore. William Petsalis. William, he's been on the varsity 3 years in a row. He's number 21, a
Started
senior.
as a sophomore at that safety position.
Yep. Ben Wright, number 23, a sophomore. Kyle Helpin's a senior, number 28, defensive tackle. Aaron Sophie, 32, sophomore, and he played as a freshman. Right?
Unreal.
Yeah. Unreal. Tristan Johns, 33, a junior. Weston Miller, number 44, a senior lineman. Alex Kelly, Senior, 47. We called Alex's number quite a bit last
yes.
year. Mason Beal, number 53.
Alex started at linebacker last year.
Right.
Yeah.
He got hurt early on, I believe, didn't
Can't remember.
he? And that falls under that.
That's why
Can't
I'm
remember what I had
retiring.
for lunch yesterday.
Living in the hereafter.
Mason Beal, 53. Eric Emery, 54, is a senior. Joe Horn, 55, a senior. Jacob Steinmetz, 56, a senior. He played defensive line last year, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Might have played some offensive line as well. Justin Headley. They got Justin. Hold on a minute here. Justin and Josh are not both sophomores.
No.
Justin, I believe, is a senior, isn't he?
Yes, he should be.
I think that's right. We'll find out, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Logan Brinley, a senior, number 59, offense and defensive line. Tanner Mason, 64, a sophomore. Trey Martin, 66, a senior, lineman. Bob Schwartz, 70, a senior. Ian Johnson, another senior, 72, defensive tackle. He's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Wiseman, 75, a senior offensive lineman. Alex DeLora, number 80, defensive back, wide receiver. He's a senior. There'll be one more sophomore, be Devin Gorniak, number pending. So.
Oh, okay.
So that's.
Well, that's 31. You know, if we'd have done this 2 or 3 years ago, we would have had to have a show that lasted 2 hours because it would have just kept going
Right.
and going and going. That's 31 right now. I suppose they could get a few more, could lose a few.
Special thank you to Jared Forbes behind the camera, Hope Renya on the sound. Thank you for coming out and doing this preseason. We enjoy doing it. I'd like to ask everybody to come out and see the Elginak game. It's always
down there.
usually great weather.
Bring mosquito spray.
Yeah, down in the swamp, as they say.
It was terrible 2 years ago when we were down there. And
Bring the off.
I didn't have any off, and we were up in the bleachers there doing the game.
Yeah, we'll look to do that again. But yeah, bring your off and show up at the swamp behind Elginak High School, which
It's
is
a walk, so get there early.
oh, back.
You got to hike back there.
Yep. So until we start the season, we'll bid a fair adieu tonight, and thank you, as I said, to Jared and Hope for showing up here and helping us out. And we'll be back in about, what, 2.5 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks from Thursday.
Yeah.
2 weeks and 2 days.
First couple of games are usually pretty warm, so
Yeah.
shorts.
Usually pretty nice
Okay.
nights.
Stay tuned to Cable TV 6.
All right.
Thanks.
So long, everybody.